Hi guys, we're back with using information from different media sources to investigate a topic. So in this lesson, we're actually going to read an article, we're going to look at charts, we're going to look at a video, I think a diagram, different things in order to get information from different sources to investigate more about our neighbor Mars. So it says it's always a good idea to get to know your neighbors. Well, meet Mars, Earth's neighbor in the solar system. Mars is known as the red planet. Even though if we got to know our neighbor a little better, we might nickname it the butterscotch planet instead. Mars isn't Earth's closest neighbor. That's actually Venus, Earth's hotter, more temperamental cousin. However, Mars and Earth share more similarities than any other two planets in our solar system. Ever found yourself saying, I wish there were more hours in the day? If so, living on Mars might not help, because each day is only slightly longer there than on Earth. However, you might be able to accomplish more each year. A year on Mars is almost twice as long as Earth's year, because Mars' orbit around the Sun is about double the length of Earth's. Also, just like on Earth, Mars has seasons where there is a large variation in temperature. However, because Mars is farther from the Sun than Earth, its lowest average temperature is much colder. The atmosphere around Mars is 100 times thinner than Earth's. Although this increases incoming solar radiation, it doesn't increase the surface temperature by more than 5 degrees. Mars is also much smaller and lighter than Earth, so much so that we might call it our little brother or sister. On the surface of Mars, you can find many landforms similar to those on Earth, except a few are more dramatic. Mars is home to the tallest volcanic mountain in our solar system, Olympus Mons. Olympus Mons is 3 times as high as Mount Everest, the highest mountain on Earth. Mars also boasts a canyon that would put the Grand Canyon to shame. Mariner, Mariner Valley is as long as the continental United States and 4 miles deep. In many ways, Mars is a bit of a show off. Still, there's no denying that the planet Mars has some fascinating similarities to Earth. There's still much more that scientists hope to learn about the little kid next door. And in years to come, we might find out that we have more in common with Mars than we ever thought. Right, that was our first source. Now click next and we're going to see some other sources after we answer a couple questions. Sorry. Which media source will best support this sentence? So which media source would be most helpful to learn about what they're saying in this sentence? Mars is known as the red planet, even though if we got to know our neighbor better, we might nickname it the butterscotch planet instead. So would it be helpful to look at a diagram comparing the size of the Earth and Mars and the composition of their inner cores? Well, let's even talk about anything about its inner core, right? We're talking about the color of the planet. A chart comparing basic facts such as the planet's gravity, day length, year length, and more. Again, nothing about the color. A video that answers the question, is Mars really red? Now that's actually talking about the color, so a video could be helpful. A photo of the Mars Exploration Rover, a robot geologist on the surface of Mars. Well, if this is really just focused on that rover on the surface, that wouldn't be as helpful as the video questioning its color. A photo that compares the size of Olympus Mons to the state of Arizona. Again, not very helpful to determining whether its color is more red or butterscotch. So I think the best one would be a video that would answer the question, is Mars really red? Which media source will best support paragraph 2? So in paragraph 2, they're talking about, have you ever heard yourself thinking, I wish there were more hours in the day? If so, living on Mars might not help because the days there are only a little bit longer, but their years are almost twice as long. So would it be best to have a picture comparing the size of Olympus Mons to the state of Arizona? Not really, right? This isn't about Olympus Mons at all. A video that answers the question, is Mars really red? We're not talking about the color of Mars in this paragraph. A diagram comparing the size of Earth and Mars and the composition of the planet's inner cores. I don't see anything mentioned about their inner cores or size here. A photo of the rover on the surface of Mars. Not very helpful here either. Or a chart comparing basic facts such as their gravity, day length, year length, and more. That goes exactly with days here, longer, right, our length, and year length. So that chart would be most helpful with paragraph 2. Which media source will best support this sentence? Mars is also much smaller and lighter than Earth, so much so that we might call it our little brother or sister. So here we're looking at size, right? It's smaller and lighter. Which one of these goes with size? A photo of the surface? No. A photo of the size of Olympus Mons? While I mentioned size here, I remember that there was a whole section about this. So I want to keep looking to see if there's a better one that talks about the size of Mars as a whole, not just Olympus Mons. I think that's going to go with a different paragraph. A chart with their gravity, day length, year length. Nope, that doesn't have anything about size. A diagram comparing the size and its inner cores. That sounds pretty useful if we're comparing the size and weight. Or a video about it being red. Nope. Best one would be the composition and comparing the sizes. Which media source will best support paragraph 4? So here is the paragraph where they're talking about the volcanic mountain, right? Olympus Mons, and it being 3 times higher than Mount Everest. So we want to look for that one that we saw before about Olympus Mons. There it is, a photo that compares its size to the state of Arizona. Apparently it is quite large. Much larger than our Mount Everest. All right, so over here now, we have different media sources. So you're going to click on each one of these and you can see a different media source. So you can click on the video. Let's see if it plays, and I'll turn my sound up.
Is Mars really red? When you see Mars in the night sky, it definitely has a reddish tint to it. People have been noticing that for a long time. Even the ancient Egyptians called Mars the Red One. So where does that redness come from? Well, a lot of rocks on Mars are full of iron, and when they're exposed to the great outdoors, they oxidize and turn reddish, the same way an old bike left out in the yard gets all rusty. When rusty dust from those rocks gets picked up in the atmosphere, it makes the Martian sky look pink. From a long way away, the whole planet looks kind of reddish, but if you get a close-up view with an orbiter, lander, or rover, you'll see that a lot of Mars is actually more of a butterscotch color. Depending on what minerals are around, some landscapes can be more golden, brown, tan, or even a little greenish. So in fact, there are a lot of different colors on what we call the red planet.
Our video here and come back with another one going through our last media sources and answering our last questions. I just don't want us to run out of time on my recording, so we'll be right back with a second video.